went to YCS Anaheim on October 4th and 5th of 2025. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about my own personal experience of the event, what I thought of the meta, just some interesting matchups and games that I ended up playing, some maybe interesting trades that I made. Now, I was really excited for this particular YCS for two reasons. The first reason being that I feel like I've really grown a lot as a competitive player since the last time I've gone to a YCS in early 2023. And so I kind of wanted to see where my skill level was kind of compared to where I was a couple of years ago. And the secondary reason was Genesis format and trying that format out a little bit, but I'll talk about that later. So for the main event, the deck that I ended up bringing with me was pure Draco Tail. I've been playing it a ton at my locals, and I just really love the deck's playstyle. I really have been enjoying Draco Tail quite a lot at my locals. I just really vibe with the playstyle of the deck, like being kind of like a, I guess, mid-range fusion deck, for lack of a better term. You don't really summon a ton of guys, but you do get some really powerful effects off of the fusion materials in the graveyard that also simultaneously function as board breakers, so you can get your spells and stuff like that. You could do some kind of interesting turn zero plays with Phimena if you just happen to draw it and enough material to go into an Arthalion on your opponent's turn. So I really like the deck a lot. It doesn't feel entirely unbeatable, and it feels like it does just enough against some other decks, and it's really hard to interact with in certain ways, but I never feel like I'm completely overpowering any of the other viable decks in the format. Obviously, Draco Tail has a lot of synergy with other fusion archetypes, stuff like Magistus and Branded. There's also some really cute, funny stuff that you can do in Draco Tail that appeals to my brain specifically. Stuff like Arthalion being able to add back previously used hand traps, so you can just like slow the opponent out of the game if you get into a really simplified board state where you and your opponent both can't really advance the game state much further. Just a lot of really dumb stuff like that. The main and extra deck list that you're seeing on screen right now is just something that I just took from like one of the YCS Leo top cuts and then just decided my own side deck, which I don't know if that was the best choice, to be honest. So how did it actually turn out for me? Not super great. I only ended up playing 5 rounds in the main event, just because I was kind of getting sick of it at a certain point, because I literally played 5 matches of Yummy in a row. I'm not joking. I played 4 pure Yummy and then 1 Mitsu Yummy. And man, I was just getting so sick of playing against this deck. Like, I know, yes, Draco Tail is favored in the Yummy matchup, blah, 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 blah. But just like the mental exhaustion of having to keep track of all the snatchies and all of the synchro bounces and things like that, and just trying to push through like all of that board and just keeping track of like what kind of stuff they're going to synchro out. It just like exhausted me so ridiculously quickly compared to like playing against like a lot of other meta decks in the past. To me, Yummy is like a fun deck that I can play against, but really I can only take it in certain amounts. Like, I cannot really take 5 rounds in a row of Yummy. That's like beyond my threshold. If it was like 5 rounds of Yummy and then 5 rounds of other stuff kind of sprinkled in between, I could have maybe done that, but like an entire like locals of Yummy of 5 rounds, I just couldn't do. Once I got to round 5 and I played against another Yummy player in a row, I'm like, I can't do this anymore, dude. I'm just gonna go play side events and actually try to enjoy myself. And that kind of brings me to like the first big thing that I kind of learned about myself after going to this YCS is that, man, I don't even know if I'm even that good of a player, to be honest. Like, I feel like I'm just barely scraping by to be able to even attend one of these events. Like, just the fact that I can even like be there and then scrub out as early as I can just kind of shows my skill level. I really don't think I have in me that much more than that. Which I know sounds kind of ridiculous. It's like, oh, you're not that good at a game, but you're going to a YCS? That's a little contradictory. I guess kind of the way I would describe it is like Dragon Ball Z, right? Krillin is stronger than almost every other person on planet Earth, but he's not stronger than all of his friends, right? So pretty much after round 5, I just ended up scrubbing out of the main event. Now, there is one big obvious elephant in the room about YCS Anaheim that I feel like I couldn't avoid talking about, even though everybody has kind of said everything that I've thought about it. It's the horrible, no good, like, finals where both players were trying to floodgate each other out before they could even play their turns.
That here. On the game.
Ghost Bell. Yeah, both players really drawing extremely well for going first, not having to deal with too much interaction, even though Kamal had the answers to Cam's, adds a copy of Sulfador to the hand, or to the graveyard. He's going to try and use the Ghost Bell here.
The only thing I wanted to add about that finals is that I had a kind of bizarrely similar experience to that finals over my first 2 rounds that I was playing the main event, weirdly. So in my round 1 match, game 3, I was playing against the Yummy player, and I just draw, like, a bunch of, like, the floodgates that I had sided going first, but not, like, any actual engine. Like, I drew a Black Goat Lapse and a D barrier, completely shut him out of his own turn, and then I hard draw the Quacky Meru Drago that I had sided, and then so I just ended up doing Quacky Meru Drago beatdown on this guy for, I swear, it's like 7 or 8 turns, just kept revealing, like, Draco Tail Pan in my hand. He couldn't beat over it, he didn't have an imperm, he couldn't do anything about it. And then my next round, I ended up playing against a Bounty Duelist who was playing Yummy Mitsu. And we both, like, went 1-1 against each other. We just kind of played and couldn't really out each other's boards. And then they brick, going first. They pass to me. I start playing, and they ash my Rahu, and I had the called by for the ash, man. So kind of reflecting back on it, my ultimate takeaway was it kind of made me reflect on my own, like, siding patterns and, like, what I valued as a player. Like, I side these floodgates because I want to win, but does that make me an inherently toxic player because I am doing these things? Granted, I think Quacky Meru Drago is a much more fair floodgate compared to, like, an Artifact Mjolnir backed up by, like, the entire K9 deck, but still. Or is it, like, the game designer's fault for leaving these cards legal and letting me play them? So once I dropped out of the main event, I ended up playing a bunch of Genesis, like, 16-man mini tournaments and a Win-A-Mat. And I was really excited for Genesis. And, you know, after having played it at the YCS, it is pretty cool. I like it a lot. I really like Genesis gameplay a lot. It feels a little bit more board breakery. Obviously, the power ceiling is way lower. Things feel a little bit more fair and stuff. There was some, like, interesting game states that went going on. I really like playing Branded in this format because I'm really having to use, like, parts of my brain that I never really have to use before. Like, I don't have to really... There's really not any pre-memorized combos that you can do for Branded and Genesis quite yet, so it was a lot of freestyling. So even though I didn't end up winning any of my side events, like the Win-A-Mats or the Genesis pods, I did end up having enough tickets to redeem this Crimson King structure deck mat, which is pretty awesome. It really isn't any other color of mat that I own so far, being that it's, like, so heavy on the red, so pretty cool. I'm getting really, really tempted to build the Resonator deck in Genesis, so I kind of thought ahead a little bit. I'm like, this would be a great mat pickup if I ever decide to play that deck. I also did a fair amount of trading at the event while I had some downtime, and I've been working on this, like, Fiendsmith Chimera Examina deck for a while now, but I was just really waiting on the prices of, like, all the Diabellstar and Fiendsmith stuff to come down before I actually started to build it. And I managed to get all of the pieces at the YCS just from trading with people. I didn't have to go to any of the designated vendors, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I love Chimera a ton, and just playing, like, the weird Examina Fiendsmith version of this deck, like, I know it's not that good, but I still love playing this deck and just, like, having all of these pieces just kind of loosely work together in sort of this way. So anyways, guys, that's it for my YCS Anaheim recap. What did you guys think of YCS Anaheim? Were you there? Were you just watching the live stream? Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about YCS Anaheim. Leave a like if you like the contents of this video. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And hit up my Patreon down in the description if you want to give me some of that cash money, you know, reward me for making videos like this. So anyways, guys, that's it, and have a good day.